All right, guys. The first one is from Heather Richardson. Hi, John and team. I got turned on to The Greatest Showman after you kept raving about it and the soundtrack.
The Greatest Show.
First, I got hooked on the soundtrack, then the movie. Just saw that Zac Efron said there is a chance a sequel would get made. Honestly, there is nothing I'd want more in theaters than that. Do you think it could happen? And do you think they left enough room to make a movie that made sense? Thank you.
The Greatest Showman was one of my biggest pleasant surprise movies for a long time. I'm not a huge musical guy, although I love Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge is actually in my top 20 all-time favorite movies. I love Moulin Rouge. Greatest Showman, I didn't know what to expect from it. I didn't know what to think. I like Hugh Jackman. I like Zac Efron. And I went in to see it, and I was just captivated by it. And Rob, I remember this one time, you and I went to lunch, and then after lunch, we got in my car. I said, dude, you got to listen to this soundtrack. And I popped in the Greatest Showman soundtrack and just played track after track. Because I was like, just listen to this one song. Then that song would end. I'm like, no, let's just listen to one more. And we listened to one more. I really grew to love this movie. It was a little iffy as a movie, but as an overall experience, as a musical and everything, it's just awesome. And I absolutely love this thing. Here's the funny thing about it, though. This movie made over $434 million, made almost $435 million. $435 million at the box office on a budget of under 90. Okay? Under $90 million, around $85 million. Now, let me ask Ashley, you and Rob here, let me ask you guys this. You guys want to take a guess at a $435 million worldwide total, what its opening weekend was? Rob, let's start with you. Want to take a
I know it was low, but I don't know, 20 million?
Okay, Ashley, you want to take
I was going to say 15.
8.
Whoa.
It had an $8 million opening weekend and went on to 400. I've never heard of anything like this. And it wasn't a limited release opening. It was a 3,000 theater opening. And it started at 8 million, and then it just had legs and kept going and kept going and kept going. Anyway, Zac Efron was asked recently about, what are the possibilities we could revisit that world when it's something that's that profitable and they had that much fun making. This is what Zac Efron just recently said. But I think someone is working on a treatment for something. I know they are. They are working on a treatment for something. When a movie becomes as big a success as this, it's only natural there's a demand for a sequel, he said. So those discussions have started, and we are working on one right now. Now, of course, Rob, one of the things that's going to kind of get in the way of this is Hugh Jackman is incredibly busy. He's doing a solo one-man show. I have tickets to, by the way, when he comes to the Hollywood Bowl. He's got a lot of projects on the go, but this was a love project of Hugh Jackman's Greatest Showman. As far as the question of will the audience come back to it and did they leave enough room in there for the story? As far as leaving room for the story, I think absolutely. When you look at where the movie ended, one chapter ended, but they were just about to embark on a whole new thing. So I think there's definitely room there. Will the audience come out to support it? I believe they will, because people loved this movie, and it's going to have a much bigger opening weekend than $8 million. It can't get much lower than that. But anyway, Rob, as somebody, I know you enjoyed the film. Do you think doing a sequel to this is something they should do?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, if I didn't sit in the car with you and listen to the song, I was literally in a Best Buy to pick up an HDMI cable or something, and I was walking by one of those end caps, and there was one disc. It had been decimated. It was around the Christmas season. I don't remember exactly what was going on. There was a steelbook of Greatest Showman, a Blu-ray steelbook, all by itself. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy that. And I took it home, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Do I think they can make another movie out of it? Yes. I think that there's more story to tell. Plus, you know what? The period is so rich. Now, I know this is based on the life of P.T. Barnum, and I get that. But they can make it more of a Fantasia. It does have that period element to it. There's a lot of ways they could make it interesting. Weren't they going to go to Europe again? I don't know. I can't wait to see a sequel to this movie. I've watched this movie more than I probably should admit to watching this movie, and it's a lot of fun. It's what movies are all about. I mean, movies don't have to all change your life. I mean, The Greatest Showman is just it puts a smile on your face. What's not to love?
Ashley, I never asked you about it. Have you had a chance to see Greatest Showman?
No, I was scared to tell you that I have not seen it.
No. Oh my God, that seems, I don't know
I
why. It
want
just seems
to.
like a movie that you would have gravitated
You'll love
towards.
it.
And
Yeah.
oh my God,
I
you'll
don't know.
love it.
I just one of those ones that I've missed, but I absolutely want to see
good.
it. Yeah.
Oh, and you'll start singing the songs. And
Yeah.
like, I remember I had listened to the soundtrack about 100 times before I even saw the movie. I just love the soundtrack. Some great videos online about it. Anyway.